and farmer elders crisis, the recent protests in the country, which were primarily driven by discontent over economic issues and government policies, resulted in significant unrest and, in some cases, violence. This situation reminded us that as an armed force, we must not only focus on physical security, but our food and social security issues can snowball into physical security challenges. The protest that held between 1st and 10th August this year was largely driven by provocative and inciting social media traffic. Although it was professionally managed by the Nigerian police force, supported by the military and other security agencies, the challenge that it posed is a pointer to the fact that the military must always remain professional. It is obvious that some of the protest organizers hold contrary opinions from the government on how the security forces will manage the situation. However, I believe it was carefully handled, and I commend our commanders and troops for conducting themselves in the most professional manner as they worked with the Nigerian police and civil authorities to effectively control the situation. Nonetheless, I'm deeply saddened by the loss of lives and the destruction of public facilities, as well as looting as witnessed in some states. As investigations are instituted into the actions of both the protesters and security forces, I join other well-meaning Nigerians in condoling the families and loved ones of those who tragically lost their lives during the protests. As a creation of the Nigerian Constitution, the Nigerian Army recognizes citizens' right to hear their grievances, but believes that such should only occur within the confines of the law. Evidently, the situation that led to the protest seems to have settled, but the Nigerian Army understands that the issue of food security will remain on the front burner. The Nigerian Army will, in the coming days, review its agricultural policy to better position the Nigerian Army Farms and Ranches Limited to significantly boost crop production so that the Army can release grains into the market at highly subsidized rates in support of government efforts. Furthermore, the Army headquarters is reviewing some proposals for partnership with ministries, departments and agencies of government, and reputable private organizations on how best to collaborate to resolve food crises in the country. Relatedly, Nigerian Army troops currently provide security cover for farmers in critical farming communities in the Northeast, Northwest, and North Central zones. This is with a view to preventing the devastating consequences of a pause or stop in food production in those regions on the entire country's food supply chain. Another pertinent issue that came up during the recent protest is the call for undemocratic intervention in governance by the armed forces of Nigeria. Although one can say this was coming from young Nigerians who never experienced the era of Nigeria's extensive military rule and the concerted struggle by heroes and heroines of our current democratic dispensation to get the nation on its current path. As the Chief of Army Staff, My simple response to this call is thanks but no thanks. The Nigerian Army will not allow itself to be used to undemocratically sell some interest to power. As a service that received the most image bashing as a fallout of previous military interventions in Nigeria, the Nigerian Army is now poised to losing the new prestige it has painstakingly built in the past 25 years. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the above highlighted developments in Nigeria's security environment and other lingering security challenges bedeviling our dear country are the reason why we have again come together to brainstorm and review our strategy. The examination of our operations to better address constant changes in the character of objects and factors in our operating environment is a continuous endeavor. I must therefore appreciate the government and the good people of Akwa Ibom State for providing the Nigerian Army with this enabling atmosphere to carry out this all-important engagement. The Nigerian Army and its sister services have continued to enjoy immense support from the government at both national and subnational levels. Mr. President's desire to build a well-equipped and truly professional army for the nation was demonstrated in the recent purchase of 2 Bell UH-1 UE helicopters equipped with advanced sensors and enablers to conduct a range of missions, including reconnaissance, surveillance, logistics, and medical evacuation, among other functions for the Nigerian Army. The Nigerian Army pilots have been undergoing training on these platforms since we took delivery of them on 20th June this year. We plan to induct them into the theaters of operations soon for limited logistic missions and other related activities. The Nigerian Army also acquired other combat enablers such as mine resistance ambush protected vehicles, weapons and ammunition to strengthen our operations across the country. These acquisitions will undoubtedly enhance the effectiveness of our troops across the various theaters and will help firm up the nation's path to a security environment that will enable economic prosperity. Our operations in the various theaters have continued to degrade the country's adversaries with telling consequences on the terrorists and other criminal groups. We have not spared any effort to take the fight to their enclaves wherever they exist. For instance, being conscious of the critical nature of our oil and gas sector to the Nigerian economy, the Nigerian Army and other security agencies operating under the auspices of the Joint Task Force, South-South Operation Delta Safe, have redoubled their efforts to boost Nigeria's daily crude production. Our concerted operational activities have helped to reduce militancy, pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft, and illegal oil refining in the Niger Delta region. Regrettably, in the course of our operations across the country, we have lost several of our colleagues, with many others wounded. I would like to pay a special tribute to these brave officers and soldiers for their immense sacrifice in ensuring that Nigeria remains safe, secure, and united. The Nigerian Army remains resolute in sustaining the ongoing efforts to ensure maximum revenue accrues to the federal government for the benefit of the generality of Nigerians. Troops welfare remains a cardinal point in my command philosophy. To this end, we have continued to fine-tune our welfare schemes to benefit our personnel and their families. For instance, the Chief of Army Staff Personnel Empowerment Loan Scheme, launched during the first quarter conference in April, is already a huge success, as over 1,700 beneficiaries have been serviced with a waiting list of about 3,000 personnel. The objective of these loan schemes is to shield personnel from the high interest rates charged by banks and other financial institutions. Relatedly, the Post-Service Housing Development Limited, as of date, completed 200 of the 400 units of houses in Idu, Abuja, under the Affordable Home Ownership Option for All Soldiers, AWUA's scheme. I thank His Excellency, Governor Eno, for approving lands for the AWUA scheme in Uyo. Undoubtedly, this gesture will significantly boost the morale and fighting spirit of our troops from the South-South zone, particularly those from Akwa Ibom State, as they can be assured of having a decent, modern, well-constructed, and affordable home to retire into at the end of their service to our fatherland. Our commitment to supporting the widows and family members of our fallen heroes remains on course. Thus, we shall witness the presentation of group life assurance checks to beneficiaries during this conference. These and other welfare initiatives underscore our unwavering commitment to prioritizing the well-being of our troops and supporting the home front through life-impacting schemes. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, conference participants, the Nigerian Army has made remarkable progress in the last 2 quarters of the year. These achievements are a result of the tremendous support from our political leaders, cooperation with sister services and other security agencies, and the backing of Nigerians. We urge all well-meaning Nigerians to continue supporting our troops deployed across the Federation. We look forward to enhanced collaboration and assistance in making our beloved country, Nigeria, safe for everyone. The Nigerian Army will continue to collaborate with personnel of other security agencies to contain the myriad security threats across the country's 6 geopolitical zones. Finally, with a high sense of responsibility and respect, I humbly express our profound gratitude to the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, for his unflinching support and strategic guidance to the Nigerian Army.